Guess he's back. It's Kamish. Back here with week 12 previews, second to last day or week of the regular season. Hope you guys are getting all excited for the playoffs. I know I'm excited to see how it all shakes down. First off, congratulations to Chris in True North, his second North Division crown. After finishing third place in year one in the LOC, 2 straight years of not making the playoffs, obviously has come back to redeem himself this year and win his second title. So congrats, Chris, and still living out the dream of the perfect season. Anyways, we're going to get right into it here. Danny and Billsy Bob Tim Horton sitting at 5 and 6. Stephen US1 3 and 8's the first matchup. Surprisingly, Billsy still with an outside shot at the division. Why? He beat Luke earlier in the season. He wins this one. Luke loses. It could set up a Week 13 matchup, him versus Luke for the division. So a lot on the line. You got to wonder how he's in this situation. 18th in league scoring. He's been a bit of a joke in that regard, but obviously 5 and 6 has found a way to win. And how important was that loss to Monsters earlier in the year now when you look at it this way? US1 on paper, definitely far more superior than Billsy Bob in this one, though, and I think US1 should win. But of course, based on the prediction time video at the beginning of the year, we went with Billsy Bob Tim Horton to win. And we'll see if Danny will be able to pull it out in a big one. Obviously, I'm rooting for you. I'd love to see Luke go down. Next up, we got Brandon and Wolves 5 and 6 taking on John and my ball Zach Ertz 5 and 6. 2 new owners this year. Wolves, a 1-year stay. Now he's going back to Tier 2. Don't know why he'd want to. The LOC is where it's at. But my ball Zach Ertz, he's come in, sold, and he's still competitive. So huge game here for him. Greg Olson, acquired in a trade from me earlier, might be back for him just in time to hopefully make an impact. For Wolves, obviously, Juju Smith-Schuster, they're saying he could be nursing a hamstring injury. I originally had picked Wolves to win. This should be a good one, though. Wolves can play role of spoiler if you can beat my ball in this one. Next up, we got Storm and Krista at 5 and 6 versus Milan in the 6, 5 and 6. A late North Division battle here. But really, this one's just 2 teams playing for pride at this point. Both teams tough losses last week to ruin their hopes. For Milan, it's 5 straight losses for him after a 5 and 1 start. It's been an epic collapse here midway through the year. This one's obviously going to be a rubber match, 2 and 2 lifetime series. It should be a good one. Storm obviously really high in scoring. Must have had some bad luck this year. We got Storm to win this one. Next up, we got Ryan and Mr. Longyard. He's sitting at 4 and 7, taking on, of course, who we already mentioned at the beginning of the video, Chris and True North, sitting at 11 and 0. You got to think Chris and True North should move to 12 and 0 here and continue the perfect season. It'll be interesting to see what that flex game is going to look like. The commission probably will try to make it a little bit difficult for Chris and True North, but we'll just have to wait see how things shake down. Obviously, a lot of controversy with Ryan earlier in the week not setting his lineup. I don't really give a shit if you are doing shitty on the year. The commish really does expect you to set your lineup. I mean, I'm doing horrible. I set my lineup, and I have actually a really busy life right now. Still find time to take 5 minutes out of my day to set the lineup. So I'm sure Ryan's learned from that. I know he's a good owner. But yeah. This one should and will be a joke. Chris and True North to win. Next up, we got Susan Fighting Geese sitting at 8 and 3, taking on Monsters 2 and 9. For Susan Fighting Geese, obviously some concerns over the run game. I think you saw that last week. Terrence West didn't even dress. I will say about Geese though, Jags defense getting them from me was a huge trade. 38 points last week. Should do good again this week against Blaine Gabbert or whoever's starting for Arizona. And then TP, though he's been a bust. He's done for the year. Obviously, I think he was supposed to be an integral piece of your team. I do have Geese to win this one. Next up, we got, and obviously that one with Geese, a huge one in that West battle, which we already know about. Next up, we got Lucas and Green Lightning 8 and 3, taking on Joshua and Sasha Heineken 1 and 10. Does it get any worse for Sasha? Tough loss against Monsters. One team you just cannot lose against. A guy that's not... I think he had like 8 guys on the bye or whatever the hell it is. The 6 obviously loved it, though. Milan in the 6. That loss gave him first pick overall, and it might have clinched him first overall. unless Sasha can find a way to win. I still think Sasha has a bright future, though. I've made some poor trades. I gave him some good players, and I think those players are going to help him out. For Lucas, he's looking at now game 3 of 6 without Elliott. The only way Lucas will see Elliott again is if he makes the finals. So, got to roll with Alfred Morris the rest of the way. I do have Green Lightning to win this one. Next up, we got Robert and Templar sitting at 5 and 6. Taking on myself, 3 and 8. For me, I might not even make the consolation playoffs, which would be pretty depressing. I traded away my first anyway, so I guess it wouldn't really matter for me. But, I mean, it would be nice to keep going. It's a rubber match between me and Robert, 2-2 lifetime series. For Robert, 4 straight losses here. Looking for that 3rd straight East title. 4 straight losses, not going to do it at crucial times. Huge loss to Drink AJOJ last week. And we'll have to see if Jimmy G starts for me and if Dak Prescott is not a joke without Elliott. I did have myself to win this one back in the prediction time video. Next up, we got George and Pack Attack 3 and 8, taking on Brian and the 12th man 8 and 3. Again, another huge game for a West divisional team, and Brian and the 12th man. This one is an original finals rematch, so 2 teams though that have had quite different careers. Obviously, we know George and Pack Attack is done after this year. He's been done ever since Rogers went down this year, really. When you look at, obviously, he's a huge Green Bay fan. And Marshawn Lynch has just been a huge bust for him. I do have 12th man to win this one. Next up, huge game for both Sean and Drink AJOJ sitting at 6 and 5, taking on Ryan and Deuce Bombers 8 and 3. Huge win for Deuce against Geese. But it came at a price. Dante Foreman down for the year. And obviously that's going to hurt the run game going down the stretch. And obviously for Drink AJOJ, I mean, kind of controlling his own destiny to some regard. Getting a big win here would help. And then for Drink AJOJ, I'm kind of glad I traded you Winston, because it turns out he might be a rapist just like Big Ben. And those are guys I just can't cheer for. Anyways, we got Deuce to win in this one. And next up, the game of the week, we got Luke and Too Good for Names 7 and 4, taking on Glenn and Saving Matt's Ryan 8 and 3. Looking like both teams are obviously going to be in the playoffs. The reason why I chose this one for game of the week, just because I think it's a good measuring stick for both. The bye weeks are over now, so this is what your team's going to look like. Obviously for Luke and Too Good for a Name, Robert Woods going down is definitely going to hurt. And Rod Smith definitely looks like he might be overhyped a little. Didn't do much last game. But looking at Luke and Too Good for a Name for this one, Brady and Bell, super easy matchups. What is it about the Patriots and the Steelers? It seems like they have the easiest schedules year after year. So sick of seeing those 2 teams win. I'll just say this, the Patriots and the Steelers are the 2 teams I hate the most in the NFL. I'm really sick and tired of seeing them win year after year. This is going to be a good one. Obviously, Saving Ryan can prevent Too Good for a Name to win the division if Billsy Bob can get a win. But in the prediction time, I did have Too Good for a Name to win this one. Anyways, I hope you guys have an excellent Week 12. Should be interesting to see how things are going to shake down before Flex Week 13. I'm sure you all are excited on how the commission is going to pick that one. I will say this, I hope nobody's feelings get hurt. If I have to pick certain matchups for the division, I will definitely have reasoning why the commission is doing this. I still think, even though with this kind of dilemma and the controversy that might come, Flex Week 13 is very exciting and will always be a mainstay in the LOC. Good luck, everybody.